I challenge you to a duel. In the past, this was an accepted option to resolve conflict. Our very first Secretary of the Treasury, Hamilton, was killed because of this tradition. Raymond Burr just fatally wounded him because of their differences of opinions and methods. What I'm going to talk about today is more healthy methods to address and work through conflict. Conflict is a natural part of society. To avoid it is less productive than understanding what it is and how to best resolve it or prevent it from happening. One of the most important causations of conflict is just differing ideas and how to move forward. I imagine most of us have been in situations, I have been in meetings where a plan of action is discussed and a resolution is agreed upon, and some members of the group do not agree to the resolution, and some will make it clear while others remain silent. If action is needed, then it's needed. If something has to be done, then it has to be done. We don't need a quorum. We don't need 100% agreement. Those who are silent should be brought out. Listen to those who dissent because they'll feel as though they're at least being heard, but the ones that are silent should be brought out and asked what they really feel. I've encountered conflict in workplace over someone with disabilities. The Americans with Disability Act states facilities by employees must be accessible and available to anybody with a disability. One of the places I worked did not have accessible wheelchair bathrooms. Seems like something that should have been done before people were even working in the building. So the most popular restroom, if you can imagine, in the building was closed to accommodate one person. At the time, it was one person. That should have been done, again, I repeat myself, that should have been done before the need was even needed. People were upset because on their breaks, that was the closest restroom to get to, and then you see one person in the building in a wheelchair, and they may be looked at like, this is your fault. This is your fault that I lose 10 minutes on my break. The point of this is companies should address conflicts before they occur. This is good. One of the biggest employers, one of the most important employers, businesses in the world is the United States government. In our Constitution, there's an emoluments clause. What that says is that anybody who works for the government cannot take anything from anyone from another government. Why is that important? Why that is important is because it can be a conflict of interest. So what our founding fathers and our people afterwards said, wait a minute, we are going to avoid a conflict before it happens. Having a conflict resolution committee is a good idea, and many companies utilize this. You can use an arbitrator to discuss the party's conflict as someone who's impartial, hopefully. There are also differences culturally in the workplace. There's age, there's gender, there's sexual gender identity, there's religion. There are so many things that may be causation of conflict. What is important is for a company's mission statement and code of conduct that should be communicated and understood because of how these differences may create conflict. Should they arise, they should be addressed in a manner that is respectful to all employees and adhere to the law. Have it very clear. When we all start a new job, you sign a code of conduct, you sign many papers. It needs to be made very clear. So what if these highfalutin ideas are not the issue? What if one just does not get along with another person? When this happens, it's important to not just look at the others' perceived faults, but also look to your contribution to the relationship. I had a team member once, when I worked in Ann Arbor. She set up a meeting, just me and her. I thought, well, okay, we're going to talk about, I don't know what we're going to talk about. It turned out what we were going to discuss was her perception that she and I get along. We didn't work together. Our personality types were too different. I had no idea. I had no idea. So this brings us to the next point. At times, you will have to agree to disagree. But the most important part of that is communication. She was able to communicate to me. I was able to communicate to her. There was no fear. There was no headbutting. It's one of the most important factors when trying to work through conflict. Communication is key. Conflicts occur in the workplace and everywhere, really. There is a key to prevent these at times. It is productive. Conflict brings up issues that should be addressed. As we've discussed, the key to resolution is first, communication, and co-jointly, is that a word? Prevention. Companies should implement a conflict resolution committee and work toward a harmonious environment as much as possible. And coworkers should discuss conflicts as they arise. Does anyone have any questions? Yes. Yes, Minnie. Minnie? Yes. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Minnie. Our technologies aren't working too well today. Did you have a question? You have an issue with having to wear your bow and skirt all of the time, not just at work, because you're putting out a persona. And you would like to wear overalls sometimes. I understand that. Here's a tip. You brought up a very good point, Minnie. You are a member of a union. As an actor, you belong to the Actors Equity Association. And this is another good tip. If you belong to a union, that is an advocate. You don't always go to your union, first of all, but they're there for you. And Benny, I suggest that. Goofy? Never mind, he's just being goofy. All right, Goofy, no more questions? I want to thank you all for your time, and I hope you will look at my presentation that I'm going to put on the Common Drive, and I'll send you an email when it's out there. Thank you very much. I dropped it on the Mickey, didn't I?